My name is recording in progress. Got it. My my name is Jessica Wilbur. I'm the owner and president of TACT Manufacturing Solutions. We're an aerospace manufacturing company that builds things like rocket engine components, Black Hawk helicopter floors, and everything in between. And I would say my home life is actually pretty great now that I work for myself versus working for a manufacturing company. So I do a really good job of making sure that I put priority to take my kids to school and pick them up every day. And those are my non-negotiables. So yes, so that's what my little life looks like.
I love that. And how old are your
Yeah,
kids?
11 and 6.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nikki, how about you?
Hello, my name is Nikki Thorpe. I'm the creator of Mom Mapping, and it's a strategy that I started using for myself to get really clear and connected to my day and find more time for fun and play. And started coaching again. I still do dance a lot because I'm a dance instructor. So I'm coordinating, I'm getting those things together. It's movement and mindset. And then outside of all the work stuff, vocation stuff, I have two sons that are 16. One started high school today. No, well, he's a sophomore. And then the other one is going to CU Boulder as of Thursday. He moves in. So it's been a big
Oh,
transition for us. And I spend my time between Canada, the US, and Mexico, just depending on the season, because we're always chasing warmer weather. And let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it.
awesome. Erin, are you in a place that you want to give me a little intro? If not, that's totally okay. You are muted though. You're muted, Erin. I can't hear you. Sorry. But I'm
Oh,
excited to see your
sorry.
face.
Hi. All right. So I'm Erin, and I'm a mom of a 6-year-old daughter, and then I have 3 bonus daughters as well from ages 10 to 15. So I work full time at a nonprofit doing HIV prevention work, and then I do a poker on the side. And then just recently, I started a confidence coaching business to help moms break through burnout and gain their confidence back and start just doing their thing. So,
Cool. Have you heard me speak before in like Minded Collective?
no, but I met you one time
No?
on like one of Christine's like workshops. I met you on that, and
Okay. I
then
feel like I've listened to you talk about your business. So that's why I was like, I've been on a call with you before somewhere. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see you again. Well,
yeah, you
let's
too.
dive in. Normally I start our sessions with a pump up song. I think one of my kids got me sick, so I personally won't be dancing around wild today. But what I do want to do is just like take a minute for you to have like a check-in with yourself. So I'd love for you to just put in the chat like a 1 through 5 how you're feeling today. 1 is like, today is not a great day. You're not getting the best version of me. I have something I'm holding or dealing with. And 5 is you're feeling really good. This is like a really rock solid day. And you're feeling like we're going to just hit the ground running today. That way I can know where you're at. Personally, like I said, I think my little got me sick, but I'm about a 4. So feeling really good otherwise. And then I just want you to take a moment and just like take a deep breath because we're all busy. Like Brooke said, we're managing all the different things running around. So with my little kids, I actually took this from Christine, Brooke's friend, that it's called a rainbow breath. So I'm going to scoot back and do it so that you can see. So her daughter learned this from a counselor and I do it too now with my little kids. So you're just going to take your hands, you're going to breathe in, bring them up, and then you're going to breathe out and come back down. Okay. I am one of those people that I never take time to slow down. And I think that based off of how you guys introduced yourself, you can relate. So I think reminding yourself to take a deep breath and just slow down here and there is really important. So we are going to dive right in. And today we're going to talk about momentum. When I was talking to Brooke about what I wanted to talk to you guys about, the year's not over. And with school getting started and people trying to figure out what their priorities are for the rest of the year, I think we forget that the year is not over. And it can be like this flux of people already decorating for Halloween and the holidays and things coming out. And you're like, what the heck? Summer's not even over yet. So I want to help you really get clear on what momentum looks like for you for the rest of the year and how you're going to create success, really hit the ground running. So mindset is super important, but we're actually not going to talk a lot about mindset today. We're going to talk about strategy specifically and how you really take action. So I'll give you a little more info about me. Brooke did a great job. These are my little munchkins and my event that I put on. But really what I would love for you to know about me at the core is I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a friend, daughter, sister. I do co-own a vineyard and I'm an app founder. But I love sushi and champagne, hikes and walks, dance parties, and having deep conversations. That is what is fun for me. Now a little more detail behind the scenes. I'm born and raised primarily in California. I went to high school for freshman to junior year in Northern Virginia, ended up moving to Iowa for my senior year, danced competitively, not like dance mom status, but did dance competitively. And then I actually suffered depression and anxiety through high school and beginning of college. I was in all honors classes, captain of the dance team, and still didn't walk at my high school graduation. So I like to give that other perspective because I think sometimes people see really outgoing, happy people and don't understand what they're doing behind the scenes. I worked 3 jobs to pay my way through college and started my first career job at $15 an hour in 2014. Graduated with my degree in business management and marketing the same year that I became a partner on a 30-acre vineyard in Napa. Thanks to my husband and our partners, couldn't have done that without them. Continued to figure out my life and what I was doing. And in 2018, I had my first son. Like Brooke mentioned, I had complications with my delivery, but I didn't find out until about 10 months later. And then I had a scheduled surgery, ended up in the emergency room 2 weeks later, and really woke up like, what is my life? What am I doing? What story would I leave behind? I had checked all the boxes. On paper, I was even a 7-figure net worth at 28, which is just a thing on paper. But a lot of other people saw success in that, and we had checked all the boxes we wanted to. We had a beautiful house, marriage, everything. And then I sat there and was like, okay, if I hadn't made it through that, what story would I have left behind? And not for anyone else, but for myself and my kids. I wanted them to know who I was at the core. I got really curious on what I wanted that to be and found all these amazing resources out in the world and built Mama Has Goals. So now I feature other female entrepreneurs as resources. Brooke is one of our pro resources this year. And that is really where that all started. And now it's been 2 years of really just getting the foundation. It's become more than I ever imagined. And it's been super, super fun. The common theme for success through all of this is a lot of check boxes. But when I go back and I break down and I think about, okay, what was it that created success each time that I did, or that I would have reevaluated what that success actually looked like, it was momentum. So I'm going to break down my momentum framework that I went back and figured out what that was, and we're going to go through that today. Before we jump in, do you guys have any questions off the bat? No? Great. So when I look at momentum, I think there's really 4 stages to this momentum framework. It's identifying the destination and the goal, finding an aligned quick win, setting mini milestones, and committing to daily and weekly consistency. My boys are only 4 and 2. They're still really little. And I don't know, Brooke, if your son watches Blaze and the Monster Machines, but mine do. It's a great show, in my opinion. I love it. But it's this little monster truck that teaches kids all about math and science and velocity and all these things. So my kids can tell you all the science behind momentum. But here's what I can tell you. We know that when a train gets started, it's really slow. It takes off and it's not going to go off like a Ferrari. But as it gets going, it builds up this momentum, and then trains become really hard to stop, right? And that's what we want to think about for ourselves and how we show up, whether it's how you get done all the dishes and the laundry and all the other things throughout the day, or it's how you hit those business goals and what that looks like. It is so much harder to get up and post on your stories or get that email sequence together or create that product or whatever it is when you're just going from like stagnant to the flow and the momentum of your business. But when you're managing like all the other things in life, and they're not even just your things, they're all the other humans that you take care of too, that it becomes really hard to figure out that momentum. So for me, breaking it down into truly simple, actionable steps is how I can go back when I say that my brain is on overload and I can't think through the actual steps. I can look at the piece of paper and know exactly what I need to do that day. And so that's what we're going to focus on today, is making it that you don't even have to think about it once it's done. You just look at your paper and take action. And every time I do this, it gives me so much success. So we are going to dive in. So where we're going to start is really just, where are you going? What are you looking to achieve? I'm sure you've heard the quote that you can't get to where you want to go if you don't know where you're going. And you really do need to know what your goal is, especially for this period of time. So where we're at, we want to focus on the rest of the year for right now, but this framework can be applicable to any time frame. So there are 131 days left of the year. So we're going to break down those 131 days and what that specific action looks like. So I want you to grab a piece of paper if you're able to write. If not, you can think about this just where you're at and come back to this. I'm going to give you a guide where you can type this later, but I would actually like you to just handwrite it right now if you're able to. And you're going to think about what your big goal is. So again, 131 days from now, it's New Year's Eve. You're either on YouTube watching the fireworks early with your kids, or you're out at a friend's house, a club, whatever your vibe is, and you hear the countdown going off and it's 10, 9, 8, New Year's Eve. I want you to think about, what is the thing you're looking back and you're like, oh my God, I did it. Like, I actually did it. From that time I sat in the Bloom Collective meeting and hanging out to the New Year's Eve, I actually accomplished this. What is that thing that you're like, that would be really great? Now, when it comes to setting goals, we want our goals to be a little unrealistic. We want them to push us out of our comfort zone, but we want to also be able to achieve the goal. It is a really hard balance, right? So if you haven't even started your Instagram handle and you are like, I only have 2 hours a week and I want to have 3 million followers by the end of the year, that might not be super realistic. Could you do it? You could. But is that really the goal that you want to set for this? So I want it to be a stretch. I want it to make you feel uncomfortable. I want it to be a big goal, but we want to make sure we can achieve it. We want it to be something that is achievable. So only you know what that is. And I do hesitate even telling you that it needs to be achievable because we want it to be a stretch. But you know, if you're looking at that and you're like, yeah, I mean, with the right tools, resources, and support, so it doesn't have to be you by yourself, with the right tools, resources, support, guidance, mentorship, I could do that, right? So you might not know at all how you would get there, but you know that it's possible in one way. You could see yourself in achieving it. And if you know exactly what that is, I'd love for you to put it in the chat. And yeah, mentorship is key. Mentorship is huge. I always say mentorship is your co-pilot. You're driving the car, but that mentor is going to get you there a heck of a lot faster. Brooke, what's your big goal?
I have it written down, right? I just wrote it down.
What is it?
I want to have a $50,000 month.
I love it. So good.
Yeah.
Nikki, how about you?
It's 9 mom mapping clients.
Awesome.
So, Nikki.
How about you, Erin? Oh, you're muted again. Sorry. It's so hard on the phone.
I keep forgetting. Mine is to actually launch my coaching business and just really put it out in the world instead of keep talking about it in a small group.
Okay, I want to challenge you to make that a little bigger, because
Okay.
you could launch your coaching business really fast.
Yeah.
So we want to, once you launch your coaching business, we're going to launch it before the end of the year. So what would success look like within launching it? So once you launch it, is it maybe getting like your first 2 clients, or releasing an ebook, or something associated with just launching it, right?
I wrote down to get 2 clients before the end of the year. And I'm also working on an ebook, so I guess you can throw that in there too.
Okay, awesome. Jessica, how about you?
My big laughable goal is to hit 25 million in sales revenue in 5 years.
I love that. What do you want to do this year?
This
What
year,
would this year's revenue goal
yeah, 2.4 million.
be? Okay, perfect.
And we're
All
at 1.8, so.
That's okay. Okay, awesome. So what you're going to do is you're going to break this down for each of these steps. We're going to skip this part right now, but we're going to come back to what's on the right-hand side here. It says what, when, why, how, specific measure, celebration, reward, daily supporting tasks, and weekly supporting tasks. like I said, we're going to come back to that. So just know that we're going to go there, but go ahead and skip that part for now. The first thing I want you to think about is your quick win. So in the next 2 weeks or 10 days, the next 10 days, hold on, where are we at? Let me pull up my paper here for you guys. Give me 1 second. And the next 10 days, which is the end of the month, I want you to think about what is something that you could achieve that is in line with that big goal. And I want this to be really specific to what you can execute. So sometimes we set a goal, like all of the goals that you guys set are the result, not the effort, right? Every single one of yours was, well, actually Erin's was a little half and half, but everyone else's was the result, not the effort. So it's the result from the work that you put in. You hit this revenue amount because of the things you did. You hit this amount because of what you accomplished, right? So you want to think about what is the result that you can put that is in line with your big goal, but what is the effort that you can put in? So when you think about a quick win for the next 10 days, what is something that you can take action on immediately? So I'll go back to Erin for an example. Erin, do you have any of the things to share that coaching business? Do you have a handle? Do you have a website? Do you have anything set up specifically that you can take action on for that? And if you do already have all those, what would the very next step be to launch your coaching business? What is the thing that you need to do?
I have all that. So I have my Instagram handle matches that, and then I have a stand store also.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just to actually say I'm doing this, I offer this, and really just putting it out there and putting myself out there to start.
And you were going to give yourself 130 days to do that?
I actually was planning on probably this month. So my grandma's birthday, who passed away last year, her birthday's this weekend.
Yeah.
And so I was looking at that being like, when I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna do this. So she could, kind of be by my side during all that. So yeah, so that's what I just gotta get past.
It's the hardest part is just getting yourself to take action and to just go.
Yeah.
And that's why like I said, I really like this framework, because once you map it out, you're like, okay, this is what I'm doing for this time frame. And then you can go back and you can look at it and you're like, oh, I said I was going to do that. I'm going to hold myself accountable. Right. So what would be your quick win, Nikki?
I'm revising my link and bio information right now. I have a Calendly, and I am just, I was going to go, I had something I was going to use and I don't want to use it anymore. So just, that's like my weekly, like, I've got to get this done. It has to happen.
Okay. Revising your link and bio. Perfect. Yeah. And remind me your big goal.
9 new clients by the end of the year.
Perfect.
On the mom mapping journey, because I have different offers, but the mom mapping journey is a longer amount of time. So it's 7 weeks, and love to take 9 people on that journey. Yeah.
How about you, Brooke? What's your quick win?
So constructing a new offer that's going to build out, and it's like higher level, higher ticket, and tapping into my container of existing people for that offer, and selling more of my digital products.
Okay. Yeah. So within 10 days specifically, narrow that down to like one measure of success, right? Okay. So like 3 different layers to hitting your big goal there. So thinking back to like one specific measure. So Erin, I think for yours, right, you already have everything built. So for you, figuring out what your like specific quick win is, because you're like, all I have to do is talk about it. Like, that's all I have to do. So maybe it's like crafting an email or a story that you're going to post, and specifically what that is. And for Nikki, you said crafting your link in bio, making sure that that's all set up for success and moving forward. So it's like, what is the one thing that at the end of these 10 days, you're going to measure and you're going to say, this is specifically what I set out to measure. And yes, I achieved that.
So signing on, it would be 5 more clients at this high ticket price.
Okay. So it's already crafted. You already built this new thing.
Yes, I'm just waiting on one thing.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yes.
Jessica, how about you?
Okay. in the next 10 days to get to my goal of 2.4 million in sales revenue by the end of the year. I have got to land a contract for $361,000 by the end of the week. And I just got off the phone with the customer, and that's what gave me my 5 for fuel day, because I am in the running to win that. I also need to land and pass my federal woman business owned interview tomorrow at noon. So
Ooh.
Godspeed. Those are the 2 things that I need to do this week. Next week, I need to call more customers, get more quotes, get more orders.
Awesome.
But tangible items are win that 1 order, because that would transcend us over to 2 million. And then we just need 400,000 by the end of the year, and let's go. I think I can do that. And then to land my interview it's tomorrow at noon.
You're going to do great.
So
you're going to do
yeah.
so good. So outside of your interview, maybe think with this client that you have, you're in the running for the contract, challenge yourself to think, like, is there one other thing you could do in your follow-up to stand out? Just like think of problem solving, brainstorming, like, is there any new kind of way that you could stand out to this person in your follow-up?
Yeah.
And how would you do that? But I also don't know that you should think about that until after your interview tomorrow. So maybe table that. So
okay. Okay, we'll do that.
Not taking on too much.
Yeah, but I work with men, and no matter where they are in the country, they're always hungry. So I'm just going to send them food.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's a good idea. Feed the beast.
Perfect. Maybe like a pack of cigars. I don't know.
Something. Yeah. So I think I'll channel that energy, and Amazon will deliver for me.
Love that. Okay, so I don't know what's happening with this pink thing right here, but let's go backwards and see if it fixes it. No? Okay, that's weird. But we are going to go ahead and make a list of these things that we talked about skipping on the big goal. We're going to map them out for the quick win, because that's how we create that momentum action. So the what, we just discussed that. What is the quick win? We know exactly what it is. The win is, are you going to follow that 10 days recommendation I'm giving you to the end of the month? Or when are you going to be measuring this success? What is the win? The why is this in line with your big goal? So some of these are really straightforward, right? You have a revenue goal and you have to have this specific revenue in align with getting that, right? But if it's more like Erin, you have to take action to be able to launch your coaching program and get clients, right? If we don't talk about it, no one knows about it. And don't worry, everyone's guilty. So I'm just as 100% guilty, but you have to be able to talk about it so people know what you offer. For Nikki, same thing, making sure that when people come to your page, they know what you offer. So you can get those 9 clients and be really clear with that. And then how, like specifically, how are you going to do that? So Brooke had talked about reaching out to some specific people. So it's saying, I'm going to send a DM. I'm going to send an email, a text, a follow-up. Here's how I'm going to actually do that. For Nikki, do you need any support with your link in bio? Do you need to have some people audit it and review it, get their feedback on it? How are you going to do that? And specifically, how are you going to measure success? So some of you have numerical values, like Brooke did, and some of you, like Erin, yours is a little bit different, right? How are you going to measure that success for yourself so that you can celebrate? Now, the celebration and reward part, this is 2-part. My favorite way to do it is so you know how you're motivated. You know what gets you excited, how you want to celebrate, how you want to reward yourself for things. Some people it's monetary, some things it's experience, internal, external, it's up to you. But my favorite way to do it is 2-part. So you have a celebration, you're celebrating the goal, no matter whether you hit it or not. You're celebrating the fact that you gave effort. If you gave effort and you tried, you set up a celebration for it. The reward is what you get for achieving the goal. So you're celebrating either way, but you're rewarding yourself with something specific if you achieve that goal with that specific measure. And writing this out sometimes can be hard if you don't spend money on yourself or you don't allow yourself to celebrate things as much as you should. Most people don't. Then this can be kind of tricky, but you want to set something out there. Now, if you achieve your goal and you're like, I actually want to do this instead, like totally fair game, right? Celebrate however you want, but you still want to set something up ahead of time of what your celebration and reward is going to be. So I'd love for you to either unmute or throw in the chat how you're going to celebrate and reward yourself for your quick win. And again, just to repeat, the celebration is what you're going to do to celebrate the effort in general. Like you put yourself in the ball game and the reward is if you win, right? If you achieve the goal. So I'd love to know how you guys are going to celebrate and reward yourself. I'll start with you, Erin.
Oh, that's hard. I might go buy myself like a really nice outfit.
Ooh, I love that.
Shopping for the kids all the time, and then I just buy myself some cheap little shirt here and there, but a nice quality good outfit.
Love that. And so that's the reward. What's the celebration? How are you going to celebrate yourself for just trying?
I think just kind of maybe just talk about it and celebrate myself in my stories and that kind of thing. And talk about the importance of celebrating the little things, so that my audience can remember to do that same thing too.
I love that. I like that, but I would try to think of something that is like just for you, where no one else is connected. I think it's really great that you're pouring into other people and sharing that. And sometimes it feels like a celebration for us because you're like, no, I love this. Like, I want to do this. This is fun. This is a celebration. But try to think about something that like no one else is connected or I'll give you an example. Like if you choose to like go do an activity with your kids, like they're benefiting from that too. But if it's an activity that you chose for you, like if they were like, Mom, we want to go to the zoo. And you're like, no, I don't want to go to the zoo. We're going to go on a hike, right? The hike, sure, they might benefit from it, but it was your choice. It was your thing. So if you can make it where it's like your thing, your celebration, like your decision, whatever that is, that way you're kind of like, no, I chose this. This was for me, right? Where when you're going on your stories, there's a balance there, right? You might be going on to be like, oh, I hope someone hears this message. That's great. That might light you up and excite you, but it's not for you. It's for them, right? So try to figure out what one's for you.
Yeah.
How about you, Nikki?
The reward is an extra long massage. Like I'm really good about celebrating myself, like almost too good at this, but an extra long massage, not just an hour long. And the celebration, because I gave effort, is to have a pedicure so my toes aren't all crazy and funky for the massage.
Love it. Love it. How about you, Brooke?
Okay, so I already have my reward up on my board over here. So I have it like clear as day. So I want to take my family to this Airbnb in Destin. So and pay for it in cash. So like I literally like it brings me to tears. I visualize like walking down the stairs like with my son and my husband, like literally like as though I'm there. I can smell the ocean. So the celebration, like I tend to celebrate with other people. So I would love to like go with like my friends on like a dinner and just celebrate. I mean, of course, I love spoiling people too. So it'd be like, I don't know, that's my celebration, but just to go celebrate that would be awesome with them. And of course, like a really long, like I'm with Nikki, like a massage just sounds so divine, right? And a day, like I do want to like take a weekend where I just shut my phone off, like literally like put it away. And that would be a celebration too. Because I would like to do that at some point too. Yeah. And I can do it, but I want it to be like, just kind of like, okay, cool. I'm just gonna put my phone away.
I love that. So pick one for the next 10 days that you're going to stick to.
Oh, the one I'm gonna stick to?
You don't have to tell us right now, but you do have to set it for yourself. And then the only other thing, I am not a financial guru by any means, but sometimes people really like paying for things for cash because it feels so good. And I always recommend that you just consider using like a credit card with really good points and then you like pay it off immediately.
That's my husband.
It's kind of like a loss if you don't do it that way.
That's my husband. So I would just give him the cat. Like yeah. But I see the number, like I pay cash for
count it out.
Feels good. Yeah. Cause I know so it's 7 days. So the cash amount is the 7 days for the Airbnb. So it's like, that's why I'm just kind of associating the two. So
I love it. I love it. I just hear that all the time. People are like, I'm going to pay for this with cash. I'm like, look, I'm not a finance guru, but you might want to consider looking at it differently. Okay, so now we're going to break this down to the daily and weekly supporting tasks. So I always start with weekly. I find that a lot easier.
Did we get Jess's?
We didn't. Jess, are you able to come back with us? Share yours? Perfect.
Okay, we're gonna have to repeat it because I got a call and I took a huge bite of the salad.
It's okay. So we're going through what your celebration and your reward is for your
Oh yeah,
specific.
so I typed it in the chat. So my celebration is I'm gonna wear a dress. And then my reward is I'm taking my husband to dinner.
Ooh, I love that. Where are you guys gonna go to dinner?
Somewhere he can eat something. He's so picky. I don't really care. I just maybe like a Mexican restaurant probably. Because he doesn't do any surf. He's all turf.
Okay.
And if I had my druthers, I would do all surf because that's where the money is, you know. But yes, so we'll take him to eat something that he likes because otherwise he won't go. And then it'll just be me and Brooke and we'll go somewhere, okay?
There you
Sizzlers.
go. I love it.
Yeah.
Remember though, your reward is for you. So this
Yes,
gets
I
really
want
tricky
to.
when
Yes,
you're like,
I don't get to wear a dress. I work in manufacturing around machines and oil and grossness.
there you go.
So like
Wear
being
a
able
dress.
to dress up is a celebratory thing for me.
Good. And so dressing up for dinner too, and then maybe making
Mhm.
sure that wherever you go has surf and turf, so you can get your surf
Yes,
and he can get
you're
his
right.
turf.
So we'll go to a steakhouse.
There you go.
Yeah, I dig it.
Perfect. Okay, so weekly supporting tasks are what specifically you need to do. So this is 10 days. So we're talking really less than 2 weeks. What are the things that you need to do once a week or twice a week? What are the weekly supporting tasks? Only three supporting weekly tasks that you have to do to hit this goal. So it could be like going on your stories and talking about it. It could be like having 2 people look at your link in bio content, Nikki, and getting their feedback. It might be like sending so many lead requests or outreaches, Brooke. For Jessica, it might be making sure that you do that follow-up or you send that gift, whatever that is, right? So what are the specific tasks that you need to do this week and next week? Only 3 things to hit that goal. And then from there, you're going to pick 3 things a day. And so these are the same 3 things every single day that you have to do. And these could be related to like your mental health to be able to show up, to be able to do these things, physical health, whatever that is. So it might not be DMing 10 people. It might be going for a 10-minute walk so that I can think about what I'm going to DM people. And so the same 3 things that you need to create consistency around for the next 10 days, every single day. Sometimes my daily supporting tasks are having snacks. And sometimes there are things like posting on social media. I have a community app, so it's like connecting with people in my app. It's reaching out to people in my mastermind, things like that that I need to do once a day. Now I'll use that as an example for like daily and weekly. If you have people you want to reach out to, I have 12 women in the mastermind that I'm a part of, right? So if I say, okay, daily, I want to reach out to one person, that's one way to divide it. And the other way is to say once a week, I'm going to reach out to everyone on one day, right? So that's like one way to think about your tasks and how you're separating it. So if you're like, okay, Erin, you're really creating a new coaching platform. So engagement is going to be huge, right? So being able to go connect with other people's pages, commenting on other people's posts, putting yourself out there is going to be really important. And so you might be like, okay, once a week, I'm going to spend an hour going to like 10 people's pages and engaging with their content. Or you might say, I'm going to spend 10 minutes a day doing that. And what does that look like? What are some of your daily and weekly tasks, Brooke? I keep picking on you.
Yeah, I know. So this is where I get like, it becomes simplified but then it becomes what do I want to say? It like overlaps, right? Because I have so many things, like my hands in so much, but I'm building so much in a container to get to that goal that it kind of like I'm talking on stories, but then the delivery on stories is about different things. So it's like I need to get really clear on this particular offer. And I really loved what you did. If I could just highlight that, like you personally messaged me about this retreat, or about the mastermind that you hosted. And I love that. So I think I want to just like make a list and reach out to people and use your strategy. Is that something I can apply?
Yeah, that's something you can totally do. And I'll say just like one of the reasons I did that is because for this specific container, it was important that those people that were a part of that were like an energetic match for me,
Yes.
right? I
Yes.
didn't want people joining it that I didn't know. I didn't want people joining it that I didn't know exactly like what their business was or who they were. And
Yes.
so I think just to like, depending on your group and your program, like Erin, for you, like coaching, that might be another similar thing, right? Because coaching is really energetically depleting. Like
Yes.
it takes a lot to coach people, especially around topics like motherhood and like healing, overwhelm, guilt, like any of those things. You're learning everyone's baggage and you're supposed to help them like organize it, right? And while we love that, it's still a lot. So it's sometimes I think it's really great if you can think, you know what, I think these 50 people would be great for this and I'm going to reach out to them. I also think you have I had one person say no to the mastermind that I reached out to, right? So your conversion rate is so high because I took a lot of time thinking who are the right people for this. So then at that point, I'm really not selling people. I'm like, hey, I think this is a really great fit for you and I'd love for you to be a part of it. It's totally your call. Like at the end of the day, like if it's not a good fit for you or not, but here's why I think you'd be great. And it makes it so much easier to be on the like selling side because you're truly just offering something you think is great for that specific person rather than talking to your stories where you're like, okay, this is for this type of person. Both are good and both have a place, but they're just like different, right? And depending on what it is you're selling, like an ebook is maybe different. You can do that still, right? You can go DM people and be like, hey, I think this ebook is perfect for you. And that's great. But it's a little different because you're like, hey, just like, spend the $20, like go download the ebook or whatever it is and check it out. So I really, depending on like for my app's free, right? And even if I feature people and resources, I do DM them, but I'll just like send emails to people like, hey, I have a spot for this resource. And so I think that like think about your hourly rate, like what's it worth to you, and like how connected do you need to be with these people? Like, do you need to like make sure they're a good fit for you to be able to show up? Or can they just download your resources and do it on themselves so you don't really need to know, like, are you going to be able to hold them? So, yeah, I love that. Nikki, how about for you? What are some of your daily and weekly supporting tasks?
Yeah, so I use my mom mapping method daily and weekly. I do like a weekly mapping out and then a daily version of that as well to prioritize my tasks. So one thing I might implement is using this framework also for the week, because I think that'll help just give even that little extra clarity. And then stories, I'm going to be on stories a lot more every day, not a lot more every day, at least once a day, and telling people what I have coming up, which is my movement and mindset series. And I will have 3 people review my bio. That's for the week, right? In the next 10 days. Let's see. Oh, and then doing my mom mapping usually leads to like how I'm finding fun, which is fill your cup first, understand boundaries, and never compromise. So I usually end up doing a lot of dance, or even if it's just 10 minutes of dance, I'm like, this fills my cup. And then following up with the people that have already responded to what I put out there about the movement and mindset series, because I'm already like, there's people from high school that are like, dance. And I'm like, yes. So yeah, it's following up with them.
I love that. Do you share those behind the scenes, like on your stories of like you mom mapping and like how you're doing that?
I'm starting to do more reels of the mom mapping. Like I do a hyperlapse in the morning, but I haven't done a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, not because I don't want to, I just like kind of forget about it.
Yeah, no, same, but that's probably one of the biggest requests I get because we have a similar clientele. Like people ask me all the time, they're like, you should share more behind the scenes or show how the app works or do this. So, and they just want to see that you're one, using your own product, and two, like that you're having the same transformation and result that they want. And same thing for you, Erin, like the things you're going to be coaching on, like showing that in some way is something that we all forget how to do. And something I'm trying to do a better job of is how can I create that to post later? So it doesn't have to be
Right.
in my like current life of like me dropping the kids off at school in that moment, but like when I leave school drop off, can I record something for next week? When I'm like doing my mom mapping or whatever my version of that is, can I record myself writing and then can I put it like behind some text later next week? And so just having this backstock of it. And I will tell you one thing that helps me a lot with that I'm trying to do a better job of is creating albums in my phone for that. So it's not just like in my everything of like motherhood life, but being able to go to my album that's like, hey, post on stories later, or like B-roll or whatever that is. Whenever I do that and remember to do that, it's super, super helpful. And that's like the number one thing people are always like, I want to see more behind the scenes. And I think especially when you're working with moms like you are, Nikki and Erin, people want to see what that really looks like. And even for you, Brooke, like the business owner behind the scenes, like people just are so nosy. They want to know like, what does this like really look like? And it's hard being the person doing that because in some points you're like, I just want to check out and live my own life. So you have to create like some boundaries around it. But there is good in saying like, okay, can I take 5 minutes today to do behind the scenes? And then I'm like checked out the rest of the time. So I highly recommend that. And then like maybe scheduling it to post later so you don't even have to worry about it.
Right.
Jessica, how about you? Some daily and weekly tasks other than nailing your interview.
I'm going to make sure I eat every day because that's the problem.
Do that.
I forget to do that often. I would say posting on all my platforms daily is one of my daily tasks. Engaging with top buying customers daily, which is hard to do. But if you can just pick one a day, I think it'll keep the doctor away. For daily. And then I would just say I would have to remind myself that it's okay because today I'm actually put together. Like I have my eyebrows on and my life is together. But most days I like wear a baseball cap and I'm sweaty and gym clothes. And I just need to remind myself that that's okay. And that's what I started my business for, was that I could do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it and kind of shake the employee off. So I think a daily reminder of it's okay to do what you want to do. You're the owner of your company now and you don't report to anyone is important for my daily structure. And then I would say weekly supporting goals, setting our calendar up in our household has been something that I've lacked doing, which makes our lives kind of chaos because my husband is also an entrepreneur and we have 2 kids in 2 different age brackets. So I think setting up our weekly calendar of who's picking up the kids when are we going to have time for family time, and carving out our non-negotiables and then adding in, hey, this is when we're going to be doing work things. I would say we need to incorporate, my husband and I need to incorporate a date lunch every week because I haven't been on a date with my husband since September 8th of last year is the last time I was on a date with my husband. And that would be a weekly supporting goal. And then just to make sure that I hit my fitness goals weekly, because that's what makes me a good mom and not a crazy person. So those are my weekly supporting goals that I think that I can navigate towards and manage.
I love that. That's good. Definitely get on that date even before you hit your quick win goal. And something that helps us too, because my husband's also an entrepreneur and feel very busy often, is just like redefining success. So like something we've been trying recently is like, can we just like play a game at home one night? Because our kids are little too, so we can't just like leave them. So like, can we just play a game at home, or can we watch a show, or can we sit outside while we like drink water or a cocktail or whatever you want to have? So just like kind of thinking about like, how can we connect like away from devices, even if we can't go somewhere, and making sure that we do that. That's been really helpful for us. And then, the other thing that I can totally see myself in that you said is like the dressing up thing. That's like been something I've been trying to do. And I just like don't love getting ready every day. It just feels like such a like chore some days, but I always feel better when I do. And so I do like it
Yeah.
occasionally. And so one thing I did is I started buying like more earrings so that even if I'm
Oh.
wearing like leggings and a hat, I'm just
Yeah.
putting earrings on and I feel like I've just totally put way more effort into my outfit today.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I
So,
get those low key jabs from my husband where when I am dressed up, he's like, "Whoa, you look really beautiful today." And I'll be like, "Thank you." And then he hits me with, "I don't ever get to see you like that." And I'm like,
oh,
I'm like, "Is that a low key jab? What's happening? What is happening?" So yeah, so I
I
feel
would
that.
say I dress up this way when I go to seafood restaurants.
That's right. I tell him the people who spend money with me get to see me this way. So
Yeah.
get your
No,
wallet out.
it's so hard because you are balancing all the things, but that's why I like coming
Yeah.
back to these daily and weekly tasks. So you can be like, okay,
Mhm.
these are the things I need to do today. These are the things I need to do weekly. And finding that day that you guys can sit down together, that is so,
Mhm.
so helpful for, I wouldn't even say us, because honestly, I don't know that my husband cares that much, but for me, it's really
Mhm.
helpful to sit
Yeah.
down and do that. And I really like to do it on Sundays, but sometimes Sundays can be really chaotic. So it's finding out like what day works best for you.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Nikki has like a good framework for this too. And I have some free resources I can send you to, but I
Cool.
think it's
That's
more
awesome.
than often, it's not like how to do it, it's to do it. And so it's
Yeah.
just like making the commitment to sit down and do it.
Yeah. Just get it done for sure.
Awesome. Okay. Erin, did you want to share your daily and weekly supporting tasks? I know we kind of went through them, but is there anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, so I put on mine to be more consistent in my Facebook group that I started, and then to journal every day instead of just once in a while, because it's been real helpful through getting through some really hard stuff recently. And then just in creating content, because I'm really bad about just sitting down and getting it done.
Awesome. So definitely just make sure you have those written down. And then Jessica, the other thing that you had mentioned was kind of some daily affirmations. And so think about maybe writing that even like on your mirror, on a sticky note of kind of saying like, I am my own boss, or I get to choose what I do today, or different things like that. That doesn't work for everyone. Affirmations are kind of like hit or miss, but try it out and see like how it might work for you. I think that there's a difference in saying like, you are powerful, and saying like specifically what you pointed out of like, I am my own boss, and like reminding yourself like specifically what you need to hear rather than just like, I'm a boss babe, like is whatever you want it, whatever sits with you. There's kind of pros and cons to both. Okay, so we're running out of time, so we are going to go through this really quick. Like I said, this is really what I wanted to focus on was the quick win today, but I want to show you the rest of the framework, and I'm going to give you the guide so that you can go through it on your own at another time. So the next steps are setting the other milestones in between your quick win and your big goal. So these are really your mini goals in between each of those. And like I said, I have a Google Doc to walk you through all of this that you can fill in, and you're going to follow the same framework we just did for the quick win for each of those. And you can set your own dates, but I did about 35 days in between each. So we have October 6th, November 10th, and then December 15th before each holiday, you have a milestone. And that way you can set the same framework of the what, the when, why, how, measure, celebration, reward for each milestone. So think about this, like once you hit your quick win, then you're going to go to your milestone and be like, okay, what are my daily and weekly supporting tasks now for this milestone? And then you move to that next milestone and you say, what are my daily and weekly supporting tasks for this milestone? They should change a little bit, and they should also overlap a little bit. So I'll make sure you have this deck and you also have the guide. But you're going to end up creating 2 lists of all your daily and weekly commitments so that you can look for patterns and overlap. So we talked about like outreach might be a regular overlap that you see. Then you might have something that's specific to that specific milestone or goal. Like Nikki rewriting her link in bio, it's probably only going to happen once. People are only going to review that one time, and then it's going to be done. It's not going to overlap. But taking care of yourself or reaching out to people, posting about mom mapping, those are the types of things that'll overlap, and you'll see that regularly throughout all your milestones, big goals, all of the things. And that's all I have for you guys today. So identify the destination, the goal, find an aligned quick win, set many milestones, and commit to daily and weekly consistency. These are all the places you can find me, and I'll put the link in the chat for this page that has the download. You don't have to put in your email or anything like that. As much as I'd love for you to be on my email list, I want you to just take action on this. So don't worry about that. And this is your little guide that you can do that for. So that is in the chat, and I'll make sure that you get this deck and the link also sent out to you by Brooke.
Oh my gosh. Can you come in every month, Kels? Like, honestly, like, can you guys just give, I'm just blown away by you have such an ability to not only hear people, see people, but guide them in such an amazing way. So I just want to thank you so much, Kels, because I know you are so busy, blessing your community, our mastermind, your family, and for you taking your time out, again, like free time, to really give this type of value. I am just so honored, so honored. KELSEY, you guys will be out here for Keisha's event. I'll be putting it in the Bloom House Collective as well. If you guys aren't going to Keisha's event, you might want to think about it. It's a great event, but KELSEY will be here if you want to see her in person, local, and hopefully she'll be coming out for my conference out in May, which I'll be announcing here soon. But Kels, thank you so much. You guys follow her on Instagram, tag her on your stories, give her lots of love, and thank you so much, you guys, for spending your hour today learning how you can take this momentum, take these action items, put them in place, implement, and get to those results and goals. I love you all. And I'm here for you too if you need any help. Okay, we'll chat with you guys soon. See you next month at the Bloom House Social. All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Kels.
Bye. Thank you, ladies.
you.